Hello guys, welcome to my video series tutorial to talk about Microsoft Semantic Kernel. In this video, I'm going to focus on how to implement the new way of function calling in Microsoft Semantic Kernel. First, we'll understand why the new way of function calling is required. Second, we'll understand what are the concepts available in new function way calling. Finally, we write one simple example how to implement this feature. First, we'll understand what is a problem in our current function calling concept. Semantic kernel currently has a separated function calling classes for different AI connector. Azure OpenAI, Gemini or other model, you can use function calling in semantic kernel, but the way of approach is completely different. But the concept remains same, but the reference specific code respective connector. So we have to maintain the separate code for the each connector. To avoid this difficulty, Microsoft team has introduced the new function way of function calling so that we can reuse those classes for the new AI connector. The new function choice behavior contains three types, one for auto, required and none. If you specify the auto, that AI model decide any of the given function or not. And the next type is required, forces to the AI model to choose provided the function, and none instructs the AI model not to choose any functions. These are the three types. In this video, we focus on the auto function calling. The next video, we talk about more about the other features. Let's move on to Visual Studio. We write one simple example how to implement this concept. In Visual Studio, I have created a new project called auto function calling. Here my plugin available, currency converter plugin. This plugin used to convert one currency to another currency. This class we already seen in our previous videos, so I use the same class. The next to program.cs file, I have created a new kernel object using the function create kernel builder. Here I used Azure OpenAI chat completion service and I passed the required argument, deployment ID, endpoint and API key. Once the kernel object has been created, I added my plugin into the kernel. So these are the basic steps. I have already written the code. The next step, make sure you have to use the latest Microsoft Semantic Kernel NuGet package. So if you go to the manage NuGet package, Microsoft Semantic Kernel, I installed the latest release version 1.20 version I installed. Here I am going to write the new way of function calling mechanism to use auto function calling. So new way of function calling where result equal to the wait kernel dot invoke prompt async. Here I am passing my argument convert 1 euro to INR. So euro to INR conversion. The next step, I have to set the function calling mechanism. As I mentioned in this video, I'm going to implement auto function calling. For that, I'm going to create the prompt execution settings equal to new of prompt execution settings. So function choice behavior, we have to set the function choice behavior dot auto. Function choice behavior is a static class. The auto is a function. We can go with the default argument. In next part, we'll see why this kernel function is required and what is the use of this auto invoke argument also. And one more important point, previously we used the tool call behavior. The tool call behavior may be obsolete in upcoming releases. The future is function choice behavior. And one more important point, function choice behavior is still in the preview version. And make sure you have to add this warning disable to use this feature. Semantic kernel experimental 0001 we have to use. So I go with the default argument. In next part we will see why this function argument is needed. And here I passed my settings. So new kernel argument, here I pass the settings object. That's it. So seems to be all fine. I put breakpoint in euro to INR conversion. Go to the plugin class. Here I put the breakpoint. I have to do one more step. Here I print the result console dot write line result. Start the application. application running. Now our plugin function euro to INR get executed. We specified 1 euro, so the amount is coming 1 and converted to INR. So this is a simple step to call the auto function calling. The next step, we are going to see the argument. So what is the use of first argument, kernel functions? The kernel functions, you can specify the functions available for the AI model. For example, you take this currency converter plugin. This plugin contains so many functions: euro to dollar, euro to INR, dollar to INR. Like that, there are so many functions. Here you can specify in the auto function, you can specify these are the function only available for the AI model. You don't touch other functions. That means I can tell to the AI model in the currency converter plugin, you have to use only this euro to INR functions, not other functions. Specific function to the AI model only use those functions. So here I'm going to specify to the AI model, you have to use only for the euro to INR function, not other functions. So how to do that? So here kernel function euro to INR equal to kernel dot plugin dot get function plugin name. So name of the plugin is currency converter plugin. The next argument we have to specify the function name. So the function name I'm going to specify to euro to INR. Here just pass it. So we get the kernel function. This function I'm going to pass to this auto function. So here new list of kernel function euro to INR. That's it. Now AI model understand only use this function, not other function. First we run this sample, next we change our prompt. So I run this application. We get the result, fine. Next I'm going to change the prompt 1 euro to like dollar. This time we won't get any response because I specified to the AI model only had to use euro to INR, not euro to dollar. So if you run this application now, we won't get any response. Here you can see I currently do not have the capability to perform currency converter to US dollars. So like that some information is coming because as I mentioned, I specified only to the AI model he had to use this euro to INR function. Now I can add one more function. Let's say this time like euro to dollar. So this function here I added euro to dollar. I change this also to euro to dollar. So this function I added in the list now. This time we get the response. So I put the breakpoint here and run the application. Executed here function. This time we get the result. So this is a simple example how to implement the new way of function choice behavior. Next video we talk about more concept about this function choice behavior.